rodafleming in the Philippines here. Still in the kitchen, still quite quiet. Anyway, I took trouble to go back and read J.K. Rowling's famous 4,000 word essay about why she had made the comments she did regarding transsexuals or transgenders or whatever she's calling them. It's quite obvious from reading that, although she protests too much, you know, the lady doth protest too much, that she's suffering from some level at least of post-traumatic stress disorder, which arises from her experience when a young mother with her husband at the time. Now, my understanding reading her work is that this guy was violent and abusive and was basically terrorized her. And that's really hard to get over, you know. That's very, very difficult for women to get over. So I think that has something to do with it. But I want to look at the specific mechanism for why she would turn that into a representation of a trans woman. And it's not the first time that she's done it. I checked back, and some of her other books have had very similar motifs going on in them, you know, where you have the trans woman appearing. And I think what's happening here is that this is the wolf in sheep's clothing, okay? So what's happening here is that she's suggesting that someone is appearing to be completely trustworthy, right? Someone who's able to get inside your defenses by appearing and behaving in a certain way. And then when he has got close enough to you to do damage, that's when he hurts you, right? And that's your classic wolf in sheep's clothing behavior. And narcissists, by the way, are absolutely famous for this. I suggest, again, I've done this before, but go and look up Sam Vaknin's site and his channel. Sam's really good on this. He understands it inside out. Well worth following him and observing, reading and listening to what he has to say. But narcissists are absolutely famous for this. This is what they'll do, you know. They'll get very close. They'll be very trusting. They'll appear very, you know, this is what a nice person, you know, that really helps me out. Ah, it's great, you know. And you know, I need that help, you know, and it's nice of them. And then, bang, you know, they do something absolutely awful. And they keep doing it. They keep repeating this cycle of niceness and awfulness. And that's classic narcissism. Now, everybody's a little bit narcissistic, but we're talking here about someone who is, you know, pathologically so. And I think that what's happened here is that inside J.K. Rowling's head, there's this association has been put together between the person who appears to be a woman, right? That is someone that you would trust if you're a woman, you know, another woman. Women always trust other women. You know, that's it's always that thing. Women don't expect other women to harm them. They expect women to be, and that goes back to our group evolution, which we'll discuss in another series, in the civilization series. Women expect other women to look after them. They expect to work together, to collaborate. They don't expect women to turn around and stab them in the face, or smack them in the face, or whatever it is. And part of the problem is not just the physical damage that's done, which can be obviously huge, possibly even terminal, but the mental damage is enormous, because it's a total breach of trust. You know, that thing that you most trusted, another woman, turns out to be your killer. You know, and that's really, really a powerful motif. And it's a frightening one. That's the kind of thing people have terrible dreams about. I mean, that's why Thomas Harris created Buffalo Bill, you know, because he understood this idea of the person who's, oh yeah, it's cool, you're cool. You know, remember there's a scene in Silence of the Lambs where Ted Levine, the actor, he's trying to entrap the woman, and he's got the sofa. You know, he's trying to get in the back of his van, but his arm's all bandaged up in a stookie. You know, and so she goes to help. Well, that's, you know, that's how it works. That's how it's done. You know, I need help. I won't hurt you. You know, I'm harmless. Look, my arm's all bandaged up. I can't help you. I can't hurt you. So you'll be able to, you know, and then bang, he hits her, knocks her out, throws her in the back of the van, and we all know what happens from there. And that's, Harris obviously understood this motif very well too. In J.K. Rowling's case, it's gone further. It's somehow been associated with the idea of, it's the trusted person becomes the woman who then turns around to be your killer. And like I say, that she's used this motif before in at least 2 books, which I haven't read, but I've found references to these things happening and quotes from the books. And it's like, this is something that's very deep inside this woman's head. This idea of betrayal by the one you trusted most. And I think that's what's going on. And I think that, I don't think J.K. Rowling is a transphobe in the sense that she's, a systemic transphobe. That she has some sort of, in principle, objection to trans women. I don't think that about her. I think she's a classic liberal, that she's like, okay, fine, yes, just do your thing, you dab, all that, always a supporter of LGBT, I'll turn out at the pride marches, all that. But I think that underneath that there is this fear, which was a real thing. It was a real fear. This woman was terrified. She talks about, the guy pounding on the door and things like that, and it obviously was terrified. And so that's, I think, and J.K. Rowling fans, I'm actually supporting your darling here. I'm saying that she's not a monster. She's just damaged, and I think she is. I think she's damaged. I don't know how you could possibly fix that, but I think basically people who have PTSD, people just have to learn to manage it and live with it. And maybe J.K. Rowling's way of managing and living with it is to bring it out in her fiction. And that would be completely normal. That's what writers do, I mean, I write fiction, and yeah, absolutely. You bring out the things that you can't really help yourself, if you, I don't know any, I think you'd be a pretty weird kind of writer if it was all that absolutely so planned in advance. Generally speaking, writers, what comes out is pretty much what they're actually thinking in their subconscious, Anyway, I don't think I'll do very much more on J.K. Rowling. I've done a couple on her. But that was just to say, look, yeah, I think she does have issues, but I don't think it's out of hatred. I think it's out of fear. I think it's out of fear. Take care, and I'll see you later. And I'd better give the kitchen back to my wife. Bye-bye.